Oh, great. So happy with right. Welcome to Listen.
Teacher Chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
And
Briana.
Briana Leach. We have a special guest today.
A very special guest, and she's extra special because what you don't know is we didn't mess up.
No.
We video messed up.
Yes.
But she is a trooper and has come back.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Second time's a charm.
It
That's
is.
right.
You know what?
You know what? Sometimes we like to spend a little extra time, so we're like, delete,
Right.
let's start it again.
I think maybe
You did
that's
it on purpose.
Maybe that's what
You did it on
happened.
purpose.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay, so we have you here because of something very special about you.
Mm-hmm.
You were very special in multiple ways.
That's right.
So
it's
let's start with that. But you actually are going to be having a new position in the Ozark schools. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm going to be the strength specialist for the Ozark schools, and that for the district.
Mhm.
Our goal is to bring Clifton Strengths, which is produced by the Gallup organization, to the entire district, and we will be helping students understand, take the assessment, learn about their talents, and how to implement that in their lives. So my goal and my position is to kind of help architect what that looks like from a district-wide implementation. How can we implement this but not overload what's already out there?
Yeah.
But it really speaks to our portrait of a graduate, and it's just going to be an amazing resource for our students.
Yeah, which we're going to get more into.
Yes. And it is very exciting. I love that we're doing this.
Yeah.
But
And she also actually has her own podcast
Yes.
as well.
in fact,
Yes.
when we started our podcast,
Mhm.
she was my go-to girl who was an open book, answered all my questions, sent me links. In fact, I was looking back, I was trying to find some notes, and I looked and I was like, man, you flat out laid it out on our notes.
Yeah,
And I
you
was like,
did.
you told me the microphone to
That's
use, your podcast link, everything. And
Yeah.
so we would have not got started without you.
Well,
Honestly,
thank
we would
you.
not have. So all of you guys that listen and enjoy it,
Yeah.
this is who you need to thank.
Yeah.
If not, we'd probably do it on my gold microphone. And
Well, I mean, we've changed microphones a few
We
different
have.
times with it already. We maybe should have went with your first recommendation.
we went cheap.
Yeah, we did. But her podcast is called The Convenient Counselor, and it's about like 10, 15 minutes each week that you have something come out. And I've actually I've listened to several of those, and one of the ones more recently was talking about pockets of happiness. Is that how you say it?
Pockets of peace.
Pockets
Yes.
of peace.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I used that a lot
Good.
actually lately, because I was thinking I was a little stressed about something that we might have to talk about later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just need peace. Like
Uh-huh.
I need some happiness right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, she told me pockets of peace.
Yes,
Pockets of
yes.
peace. And so I did. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, give me a song or give
Yeah.
me these different
Just a
things.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that you have really good tools for people to use on that. And so, and with the short episodes,
Mhm.
it's really nice. Something you
Yes.
can listen to and move on, but also be able to take a little gem from. So
And I love because it's just for you. It's about your family. It's about, there's all different things. So it will, no matter who you are, you
Yeah.
will really enjoy this.
yeah. And on that line, can you tell us a little bit about your family too?
Sure. I've been married to my husband, Ben, for, over 16 years now.
Yeah.
We celebrated this summer. And
Ooh.
then I have 3 awesome kiddos. I have Kason is in 5th grade. He's 11 with Miss Weedle. He's not in your class.
I know. I was like, I don't have him in class. I mean, I would have taken him, but he's
So
not.
it's like, how did I miss that?
I really was sitting here like, no.
In the same building.
Same building.
That was a big
Uh-huh.
change for us.
This
Yes.
is going to get awkward.
Parent-teacher conference right now.
I'll just sit in your room. I'm just gonna sit back. And then I have Dalton, who is in 3rd grade. He is 8, and then Meadow, who is in 1st grade, and she is 6.
Mm-hmm. We are on a similar
Yeah.
path with our children's ages
That's
a little
true.
bit. So
I am not.
you are not. You are not.
Get our
Yeah,
advice
so-
from you.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a good idea.
Just bring it in. Bring it in. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and go into our highs and lows.
All right.
You want me to start?
Yeah, why don't you?
I assumed it
I
would be
knew.
me. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start with my low because with this whole strength finder, I never thought that there was anything wrong with my strengths. I just thought they were all really amazing.
Wrong.
And since we've done this before, one of the topics that we'll bring up is that there are, we call it basement parts to them. And after she brought this up, I learned that some of mine, like being a woo and an includer, have some negative aspects to it. And I was brought with a situation this week that because of those strengths, I had done certain things. And then I stressed about them because it didn't work out. And I obsessed over it, let's say that, until I had some action, and then I was able to release it. But it was stressful. Yeah. And so
is that my bad?
I think I actually put it yes, Leach's Brianna's fault. I felt bad and I couldn't let it go. So thank you.
Yes. There are people do that too.
You're not alone. You're not alone. I'm not blaming you for my week. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, my high was that we had our first weekend off for a long, months. And it was just nice being at home, being lazy, and just chilling, and spending some family time and all of those different things. And so I know that our kids are busy and I want them to be busy in the things that they love and all those things. But it was nice just to relax and have some a weekend. Downtime. Yes. Yeah. And so that was nice, just being able to chill.
That is nice.
Yeah.
All right, you can go next.
You want me to go next?
Okay. I like people to go next.
Sure.
It's something about saving the best for last. I think that's really where it comes down to.
I see how it is.
Yeah, it's Robin. So Robin for you.
Rude, so no.
So my high of this past week was we went to Tennessee for the weekend for my 20-year high school reunion.
Wow.
So I was born and raised in Nashville. I know. I am not a day over 18. But it was so fun. I had an incredible public school experience from K through 12, same school. Some of the same friends that I got to see that we're still friends 20 years later. Yeah. You know, we've been friends since kindergarten. So that was really fun, but it was also my low because my husband wasn't able to come, and so it was me and the 3 kids, and we've done it before, but every single road trip, they're great travelers, but I wish there was an app where you could find where clean family restrooms were. Because I have 2 boys and a girl. Yeah. I don't like to send them in by themselves. They're still little, and it's hard, and you try to divide and conquer, but I'm just like tense every time we stop. I wish there was a nicer, some way to know ahead of time.
Is that why okay, we talk about this on the way to Branson. There's those signs that are like clean restrooms. And Sean always goes, is that really a positive thing? Like, why are they advertising that so much? I'm like, it is.
Yes, it's
important. It makes a big difference.
You need a nice bathroom.
Yeah.
Especially when you have your kids though by yourself.
But it was a great trip regardless.
So fun. Well, my low is, I don't really love to cook, but I like to think I like to cook. So I save lots of recipes.
Oh, sure.
Okay?
You pin them.
Yes, I'm a pinner. I am a great pinner. And I usually send them to Dave because my husband does like to cook. So I hope he makes them. Right. But, my husband's had a really stressful couple weeks at work, and he's working late. And I can't sit on the couch too long and not cook supper when he's not there.
Right.
It seems rude.
It does.
So I decided yesterday that I put chicken on. I was going to make a chicken and rice. But then I thought, you know what? I bought a pie crust. I'm going to make chicken pot pie.
Oh.
Homemade chicken pot pie.
Oh,
sure. Mother of pearl. Let me clarify.
Robin.
I didn't make homemade pie crust. I had the pie crust. But I didn't realize there were so many steps in cooking. You know what I mean? And so I had to melt the butter and add the onions, and then I had to saute, I guess. And I cannot multitask. If someone calls, I said, hey, I can't talk. I'm trying to concentrate. Then you had to add flour, and it got clumpy. So I had to throw it out, start over because it didn't look right. It looked the same thing the second time.
Oh, Robin.
And then I had milk, and anyway, it was.
Hey, can we video you?
Oh my God.
Let's video you cooking something.
And that's what's so hard too, because when my husband cooks, like he cleans as he goes, and like you hardly know he cooked. Right. Oh my gosh, I think I scalded the oven. Yeah. Like I have scald over it. There was milk on the floor, and it was the good news is it looked beautiful. It tasted wonderful.
Oh,
that's the good news.
Okay.
But I was tired. I cannot work full time. And come home and cook. No, I can't do it. No. And it was pretty, but I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Mhm.
I just gotta stick with sloppy joes. I know what I'm good at. Sloppy joes, macaroni and hamburger. That's my two
There you
go-to.
go.
And Mexican chicken. I got 3 meals.
Anyway,
Those-
rotate 'em, just
it was
rotate
a
'em.
mess. And then after that, I left over chicken, and then I made chicken salad for the week for lunch. So I felt like I did like Betty Crocker. Like I
Yeah.
felt good, but
Right.
man, I was worn out. And it's just not worth it. So tonight I'm either grilling hamburgers or going out to eat. I don't know.
That's right.
It
I see
was-
2 of your strengths already right there, though.
Oh.
Positivity is the, of course you can, and activator is like, I'm not even gonna read the instructions. I'm just gonna jump in.
That is the problem. Because Dave, like he makes something, he's got his
Uh-huh.
like looking up and where I'm like, yeah, that looks like 2 cups. And maybe that was my problem.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
oh no, I just estimate. I feel
Hey,
good. Like
that's right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, that does make me think though. So do you, when you see people doing things, do you start like trying to guess what their strengths are?
Yes.
All the time?
I try. I mean, it's not. I can. It's pretty accurate. But
Well,
I'm like, I
you've
try
been doing
not
this
to.
for how
Yes.
long?
I was-
18 years?
Yeah, about 18 years. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I can pinpoint them pretty quickly, but just based off stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
when I do strengths coaching sessions, I have people introduce themselves and
Yeah.
we talk about your family, what you do for fun, how you got to your job, and I hear them describing it
Yeah.
as their. And then we look at the results. I'm like, well, there you go.
I
There
have
they
a
are.
great game we
I was
should
thinking
play.
the same thing.
Yes, we should
Yes.
have somebody like describe how they would approach something,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
then you try
I
to
could
guess.
them. That would be
Oh.
fun. That'd be fun. I'd
I'm
be
writing
down
it
for that.
down.
Yes, we'll bring
Yeah.
you back.
Okay,
Game show.
okay,
I
sounds
got a
good.
game show.
That sounds
Oh,
good.
sounds fun to me
Okay,
too.
so my high.
Yeah, sorry. I got really
Sorry.
excited at this moment.
Well, this is actually not about me, but when and I can say this because
Mhm.
she's our amazing PTA
Yes.
president. Okay.
Mhm.
And we love our PTA here at North. They're amazing. They're so good to us. But not only that, we have just great people that I like to think are friends that
Yeah.
you really like,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
being around.
Absolutely.
Well, the funniest one, and this happened to a PTA mom, and I told her I would not say her name, so I'm not going to. But she said,
Oh no, I don't know. I
she
know.
said, this is not going on the podcast. And I said, of course it's going on the podcast.
Yes.
But your name won't be safe. So we're safe. Okay?
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Oh, I'm
So
excited.
anyway, I was at lunch duty,
Uh-huh.
and I was with Miss Austin, who's our para, and this lady came up and said, you're right, it is a PTA mom, but it was the wrong PTA mom. It was actually me.
What?
And she's like, and I kind of looked at her, and she's like, you don't know what it's about? I was like, no.
Hmm.
So she was at home the night before,
Yes.
and she had a drink
Uh-huh.
of something. You
Uh-huh.
can guess what
Yes.
and she was talking on the phone, and she said it on her bumper.
Mm-hmm.
The glass, a beautiful glass on her
Mhm.
bumper.
Uh-huh.
Went inside, forgot all about it. The next day, she drove to school,
Mm.
drove into our parking lot, and when our recess parent came, there was the beautiful glass still sitting on the
sitting on
bumper. Yes, still sitting on the bumper.
Amazingly did not fall
Still
off.
had drinks in it. And she left it. And so they were asking, and she came, she's like, it's actually me. She sent me the
It's
picture.
apple juice. It's apple juice. Oh,
it was
my
in there.
goodness.
She said she lives on a hill, like
Yeah.
her driveway's a hill.
Wow.
She drove on in. She came over bumps, and it stayed there the whole time.
Yeah.
Listen, I
Yeah.
have shared that story with
Oh
everyone.
my goodness.
I have shared that
It's an
picture
ad
with
for those
everything.
glasses.
It was like, it's,
Yeah.
I was like,
Indestructible.
it's impressive. Anyway, I have
Wow.
laughed so hard.
Yes.
But that being a high, it's a funny story. But
Mhm.
I just love that we have a community here
Yeah.
that you can laugh. Like there was
Silly
like she knew
things.
she could come and we could laugh together. And like
Mhm.
even when she's like, don't say the podcast, she was laughing too. Like
And you were like, no,
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to.
I'm going
and like
to.
she didn't care. And I
Yeah.
just love,
Mhm.
that's why I love this school and this community. Because it is, even though you might not know people really well, it's
Yeah.
still a community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there was just a lot of laughter. So
That's
so
Oh,
funny. So I'm like,
I
what do we
love
try
it.
next?
That's right.
I'm like, this is so exciting. I was
kidding.
like, you're gonna be everybody's favorite parent though.
That's
Oh,
right.
look who's here. The PTA
Yeah.
mom's here. We're gonna head on out to the parking
Yeah,
lot.
with the delivery.
That's right.
Let's see how many we can stack on there.
exactly
Oh,
right.
that's so
That was
good.
funny.
Okay, so we're gonna get down to business.
Get down to
Mhm.
business.
Get down to business with some laughter in it.
Yes,
Yes, of
but
course.
just a little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this right. Clifton Strength Finder. Is that what it is now?
Clifton Strengths.
Clifton Strengths.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You
know.
were so close.
I know.
Okay.
So it used to be now discover your strengths,
Mhm.
and then it was Strengths Quest,
Hmm.
and then it was Strengths Finder, and now it is Clifton Strengths. So there's no reason it should be confusing.
Right, I have no idea
Not at
why
all.
I would ever be
So
confused with
Clifton
it.
Strengths, named after the original founder, Donald Clifton.
Okay. So with the Clifton Strengths, tell us a little bit about it. What is it? Because we may have
Mhm.
some listeners that have no idea.
Oh,
what this is about.
absolutely. Yeah. I actually talked about it a lot at my reunion for some reason.
because you were like, hey, I think you're an activator.
It was
I
the
really
game
love
you
your
played,
yeah.
wasn't
You
it?
were already
That's
playing
right,
the game.
that's right. I'm already well rehearsed for this. So the Clifton Strengths is an assessment that helps individuals find out their talents. That's the verbiage that they use, because once you invest in the talents, they become strengths. But it's based on very much in positive psychology. They put, before it was initially released, they put over 50 years of research into it of, what are these characteristics of leaders and what are these characteristics of just how people function in the workplace is kind of where it started. And so they started grouping together these characteristics, and then they fell into themes or talents. And so you end up with 34 potential talents that you could have as your results. And you take this assessment. It takes about 45 minutes, and you just you have 20 seconds per question, answer kind of whatever your gut response is. And then you'll get your top 5. You'll find out what your top 5 talents are, and just be able to go from there. It's kind of the springboard.
Yeah. So at Ozark, we've done this. Well, I did it 6 years ago at this building, but then I redid it when I moved buildings. And I think in our world today, a lot of times people focus on, like, we've talked about this, but focusing on those negatives and building up from them. And I love that with this, I can figure out, you have an idea of what you think you're good at, but this kind of pinpoints those different pieces. And for me, I love that you can look about those people around you and figure out how we can all have contribution to whatever it is and use our strengths.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, in my team that I had here at the elementary, we were all very different. And sometimes people see those differences and it separates them.
Right.
But for us, I felt like it brought us together because I could release some of the things that I felt like were on me to do, but I really wasn't good at.
Yeah.
And somebody else was actually good at, and they liked it and all those things, and they could build it up and be much better than what I could do.
Yeah. That's what I love about it, is that Gallup's mentality, and the research backs this up, is that individuals don't need to be well-rounded, but teams do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you get to release feeling like you need to be all the things.
Yeah.
And as a counselor, I do strengths and coaching, but having an LPC background, being a counselor, it's been so nice to see this as a self-awareness tool of just like, hey guys, this is who I am. It's not a pigeonholer. It's not an excuse for behavior, but it's really good to communicate with, to just say, hey, this might be how I come across, or this is what I bring to a team, and I'm lacking some of this. So I would love to partner with you to succeed.
Yeah.
Well, and I love this year because we have done this at the school a long time ago. So we've done a lot with Strength Finders or Clifton Strengths.
Yes.
But what I loved is that this year, before school started, we sat down and we met as a team and we wrote down and we broke it into the different sections to see, like, who, if you're missing someone that's in that, or how many do you have in this one, and to see, like, who do you need to bring on if your team doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to go across just your team and add someone else when you have meetings and stuff to help be that person. And so I just love the breakdown of really getting deeper in there to see the different strengths and what you're lacking.
I think this was years ago, where I used to think, like, why would somebody not need more of me on a team? And then there was this teacher that was hired, and I believe my husband actually said, she reminds me a lot of you. And I was like, great, this is going to be awesome. And then I felt like she was a little much.
No, that's the word. Surely I'm not.
I know. And I was like evaluating myself. I'm like, and it really did come back to this. And she wasn't on my team, but it came back to the idea of, like, how much we do need a well-rounded team of people. Because if you put 3 of me on a team, no.
I feel like that would be a great idea.
Right, of course.
It would be a lot. It would be a lot. I think
we'd be happy.
You know what? If me and Robin and I doing the podcast together sometimes can be a lot. The things we forget or the things that mess up.
Yes.
So that's why we have these extra team members that we've been recruiting.
That we've hired for free.
Yeah, for free. We've got new executives on our team.
That's good.
Yeah.
We're growing. We're doubling the salary.
We're forcing it. We're forcing it. Okay, so thinking of, is there any other, like, benefits for people knowing?
Yeah, I think I talked about self-awareness, communication. It's really encouraging just to know even as a Christian, just knowing like how uniquely everyone is made. And what's incredible about it, my number one is input. So I really value research. I really value a tool that's valid. That's why I use this tool more than anything else. It's, it's not a personality test, but just being able to assess someone and kind of, I call it like you see their top 5. It's like reading their cards, like here's a glance at who they are. But the research is so well done that you have a 1 in 33 million chance of meeting someone else with your same top 5 in that order.
That's crazy.
So it's like, it's, versus other tests, it's like we could all 3 have the same answer or the same result and be totally different. But this just gives you such a deeper dive into, okay, this is kind of your recipe when all these 5 are together. Yeah. Because even you 2 have 2 of the same, but they're different because of the influence of the other ones that are in your top 5. So, I just love it. It's a launching pad for growth. It's something that just because you have your results, that's step 1. You know, all of these talents are innate. You don't even have to try, but now you get to invest in them to make them stronger.
And I love what you said because, I talk a lot that my husband and I teach a college class at Sunday or Sunday school class. And Dave almost every Sunday says, there is no one else like you. Like you are made special in God's eyes and you could, the whole world, there's no one like you. And I think that's what I love about this is that he made you unique and the mixture of your top 5 is different than anyone else. So you're going to be able to do things that no one else can because of your uniqueness. And I love that. I love that.
Gallup calls them your superpowers.
Yes.
So these are my superpowers.
I love superpowers.
I just gave you both
superpowers.
Yeah,
the state keeps getting better and better. Like, I got superpowers. I've always wondered what my superpower was. I didn't know it was being a woo. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to actually pause.
I'm going to go to the basement.
Okay.
All right. Something we talked about last time that I love that I wish we talked about the basements, a little bit of the thing, because we kind of want to talk about about your weakness and stuff. So I would love for you to touch base because I think with a lot of times with this is we don't ever talk. We just talk about, it's great. This is what you are, what you should focus on that 100. Like that's the main thing. But tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So when you get your results, and if we're doing like a one-on-one coaching with your results, we would talk about the balconies and the basements of each of these talents. So these are naturally occurring talents, but usually we hear the positive, the compliments of them. Yeah. And the base,
that's what we prefer.
And because I'm positive, I'm like,
that's
yay, these are so good.
That's right. We only want to focus on that. And honestly, the gist of Clifton Strengths is the positive side of who you are, but we can't deny how it can. Basements are how this talent can appear to others. Yeah. So it does not mean this is truly who you are at your core. This doesn't mean that's what you're even intending. Yeah. But it's really important to understand the basement so that you can almost lead with that in a group of like, hey, I'm a woo. I might come across as intense. I might come across as passionate. I might be a positivity strength and be in denial about something.
That's so true. Yeah.
Well, 2 positivity strengths together is, of course, we can. That's your motto. So we're going to figure out this.
And there's no rules in our
podcast. Right. That's right. You just go with it. So, but understanding on the flip side, someone else who maybe has a talent at the other end of the spectrum, who maybe strategic, analytical is like, I need all the ducks in a row before we hit go.
All those people drive me crazy.
And that's just it. So an activator, a basement of activator might be impatient. Oh yeah. So you might say, I am a doer. Yes. I am my motto for activator is build the ship while sailing it. Yes. So I'm going to jump out into that. That's right. So activators in a meeting will say, are we leaving this meeting with action items or should I prep my heart and soul for just talking? Yeah. And that's going to drive me nuts. Yeah. So it's good to know the basement side is that activators want action. Yeah. Like that's their, that's your main go-to thing is that I get stuff done. Yeah. And so if I'm in something where I'm just treading water, I'm going to be really professionally frustrated. Yeah. So understanding that, again, goes back to self-awareness, being able to communicate. So the basement, it's harder when you're coaching someone, like to talk about the things that aren't super great about yourself. And just knowing, that I'm a competition strength. So the basement side of that can be, I'm always wanting to measure progress, or I'm always wanting something to show like, mile markers along the way, or I also don't like treading water. So it's more of an action oriented talent as far as, okay, what's the goal here? Like if there's no goal, if we're just kind of shooting the breeze, like what are we even doing here?
Let's get out of here.
And the basement's out of competition. If I know I have no way of winning, it's really hard for me to want to participate. So it's just good to know that ahead of time versus I'm also going to be the most loyal fan. I love having a team to get behind and cheer for, and I love just
why you're stuck with Tennessee.
That's right.
Fine.
Go Titans.
Go Titans. Anybody that's Chiefs fan, I apologize about that. We still love you though.
That's right.
Well, what we were saying though is just being aware.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. And I've heard people, I actually had somebody at one of our meetings, they're like, so you've done this for a while. And they were like, so is this like a personality test? I'm like, well, not exactly. I said, I think it's finding what you're good at. But that's really how I need to approach it. This is just for you to be aware of some of these things that you're really good at, or that you have maybe those talents in, because I think that's it. But it also, we need to be aware that there are some things that I don't know how to word that exactly.
Well,
but
it's perceived self. It's like perceived self, actual self. Like this is where my heart is.
Yes.
But this is how it can come across.
Yes.
And honestly,
you should word it. Like how do you word things when you're talking to people too? I was going to say
the whole, all 34 themes are vocabulary. I mean, once you understand, so I'm fluent in it because I know I've studied them. I know the highs and lows of each of them, but, honestly, Gallup's research shows that others' awareness is just as important as self-awareness. So being able to see someone else's and say, okay, so knowing Robin, looking at your talents, I would go into a meeting saying, we are just brainstorming. There is no action happening today. So I want you to know, but we need your energy.
Yeah.
We need your ideas. You're great at communicating this to the group. Like I want you to be wave the banner.
This just made me think though, because in those meetings where it's like nothing's getting accomplished, and I don't know where this fits on my spectrum, but I become like this, like, you're wasting my time.
That would be a ranger for 100%. And it's an executing strength. So it's like, I want to get stuff done. Like, give me the pieces and I'll make it work.
Yes. But if it's not, my positivity and woo gets like, like it is not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
But if somebody does tell me like, I need you to do this, now I have a purpose for being here. And it makes sense that I can maybe help be a woo in this moment for you.
Yeah. And maybe your action item can be giving feedback about that meeting.
Let's not have it.
Let's have a conversation about that.
I'm going to give it to you. Make your own.
I'll have my own thoughts with it. Okay. So in the Ozark schools, we're going to be implementing, or this is going to be implemented pretty soon. And so I was curious about what that maybe is going to be entailing and what like our staff members now have all taken it throughout the district, I believe.
At least, so 7th through 12th grade teachers have all gone through what's called a strengths discovery session.
Yeah.
The exact details of the rollout will be formulating this year.
Okay.
We're kind of putting together, what does that blueprint look like? What have other school districts done?
Yeah.
There's only about 1,000 K-12 school districts in the nation that have done this. And so we'll be one of them, which is pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
Especially in the Midwest, there aren't a whole lot. So Dr. Bauman definitely has a vision for this. And our vision statement talks about, and I forget the exact wording, but basically utilizing students' talents for success. Like how do we do
future
that?
readiness?
Future readiness, right? And so, already using the verbiage talents is the question the board was asking is how do we do that? How do we measure that?
Yeah.
So Clifton Strengths is a perfect way to do that, and because it's so easy to just go right into that vocabulary. And they actually created a Strengths Explorer for ages 10 to 14. We're going to be using that with most likely middle school and junior high. So fifth through 8th, and then the Clifton Strengths for high school and beyond. So the Strengths Explorer only has 10 themes. So it distills it down a little bit more. Just, there's still a lot of self-awareness being gained at that age, but you can kind of figure out some things, and then it expands more once they get into sophomore-ish year.
And I think that's the part when you're taking the assessment too, is what you think you should say versus the reality.
That's right, yes.
And I think that's going to be the hard thing with kids. But even as an adult, I was like, I think with you being belief, there kept things coming up with like, what would you do in this situation? It was like belief or this other side. I'm like, I probably should do this, but
I might steal the gum. Okay.
but it's sitting there and I needed it, and so it was this idea of like, you felt like a battle of what you maybe should say versus the reality. But as an adult, we're going, okay, really figure it out. But that's why I know when we got it, they were saying like, make sure you only have a few seconds to answer. And so you couldn't overthink it. It was just like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And
I always recommend, and I'm not sure exactly how it will look with students. There are a lot of students that have already taken it. We're going to be doing focus groups this year with some student leaders and some in both the junior high and the high school to say, what do you think we should do with this? Like, where do you see this coming out? Because there are other implementation plans, but we really want to customize it to Ozark because the teachers and students know this district more than anyone, even more than me, as far as I have the strengths knowledge, but you guys have the district knowledge. So to be able to implement it and not create a burden on top of already what you're having to do. Layer. So but being able to use it in assignments, you know, and use it in behavioral issues and discipline, as far as we've so long been under the report card model of thinking, which is, you know, a child has an A in math, A in science, D in English. Where does all our energy go? To the D in English. So, because we just immediately go to what needs the most help, what's the weakness. But instead of saying, hey, you're actually really good at all of this. This comes naturally to you. Let's really hone in on that. And you'll figure the rest out later. We'll get a tutor or something. But being able to find ways to implement it. Right now, it's just learning the language. The district office has been around strengths now for about 1.5 years. They're using it in their meetings. They're using it in their email signature, you know, talking about things.
You have to figure that out.
Yes. So you'll have to add that in. But just kind of normalizing, hey, this is the language we're using when we're problem solving. What do we need to rely on? Like you were saying, you were referring to the strengths-based leadership domains of executing, influencing, relationship building, and strategic thinking. And all the 34 fall into those 4 categories. So when you look at your team and say, like, we're missing some relationship building. We need people who are friendly in this group, you know, or we are so strategic that we're losing the people in the process. So 100%. Just being aware of that. But as a student, can you imagine being 18 and knowing this about yourself and going into the world? And it's such a gift to our students because, I mean, 90% of Fortune 500 companies are strengths-based. Like they use this in their hiring process, or like Southwest, Best Buy, they use this language regularly. So that's a huge advantage that our students will have.
Well, and I love because, and maybe it's because of my job also, but so many, you know, we think about our own kids and we speak positive and we speak how great they are and their talents, but there are some children that no one's ever found the great things in them. And I love that we're starting at 7th grade on up, because we are developing those strengths. We will be. And that no matter what, they will leave high school knowing that there are 5 things that they are, it's who they are. You know, because I think sometimes I have kids say, I'm the bad kid. And I always say, you're not the bad kid. I said, you made a poor choice, but doesn't reflect who you are. And I just love that we're pointing that these are your talents. These are your strengths. You can do things because this is who you are.
That's right.
And it just gives them, and I love that we're doing that. And I love that we're going with that pathway.
And it's who they are. It doesn't pigeonhole them in a career.
No.
This is who you are as a teacher, as a welder, as a doctor. You know, I mean, like, so this is how you're just going to view. This is the lens you see the world. So it's really cool to be able to empower them with that.
And learn how to work with people with different, you know, because I was thinking when you were saying my husband, he's never had the test. He needs to take it. But, but I think he is one of those, like, it takes him forever to make a decision. He has to think things through. And it drives me insane. But it is important, because if I know these things, I'm like, we know how to, we've been married long enough. I've learned how to, but like when you work with these people, it's kind of makes you have a little more respect for them and understand where they're coming from. Because if not, I'm like, for the mother of pearl, just answer the question.
Maybe this is what you need to take before, like, getting married to somebody. But make sure you actually balance each other.
I use this in premarital and marital counseling all the time.
I believe it.
I believe it.
Because I think it also opens up that conversation, because my husband and I are quite different people. And sometimes people are like, I do not know how you guys work. And sometimes I'm like, somehow it just does. But I think it does go along with those strengths that we each have. Balances it. 100%. Because his top 5 are not my top 5 at all. And he needs me in his life. But Lord knows I also need him in mine.
I'm going gonna have Dave. I'm gonna buy this. And have Dad take.
Absolutely.
Though he's ADD, so I'm gonna have to really cut it down a little spot.
That's right. That's right.
You can do it quick.
Yes.
No, he said he's deliberate and he has to think about it. So
I
that's-
know.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
this is gonna be.
He'll be at 19 of the 20 seconds every
I
time.
know.
He's gonna take the full 20 seconds.
And I don't need to do it with it because when I usually I'm like, you're a B.
Yeah, right.
I said, can I just take this test for you?
That's
Because I
right.
feel like I know you
That's
well.
right.
Oh my goodness.
But
Well, I think we've hit most of them. We did our. Oh, I meant to do our favorite school memory early.
Oh yeah.
I'm
You
gonna.
want me
I
go
mean,
and do it now.
Yeah, I think I'll just bring it
Do it.
about.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just edit it out. So, what about, since this is a teacher podcast, what's your favorite school memory?
So I'm going to go back to my elementary school days since we're in elementary school. And my favorite school memory was the jump rope team that I had the privilege of being a part of. And we were a traveling jump rope team. We would come to school early every morning and practice.
Commitment.
It was.
in elementary.
In elementary. And our PE teacher, Miss McLemore, she was one of my favorite teachers. She would take us to other schools and we did Jump Rope for Heart presentations. And so we would have
I remember the jump
performances.
rope.
I do too. Those people are impressive. You
Yeah.
were that.
I was that.
I was like, I was in elementary. I was like, I wish I could be these kids. A, they got to come to another school and
Yes.
not their own. And
Yep.
B, look at them.
Yeah.
Like whooping that thing
We
around.
did the jump rope for heart, but we
Yeah.
didn't leave anywhere. We just stayed at our own school.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was
we
a
went all
traveling
over.
team.
We did
We
double
saw some
dutch,
things.
all
You
those
did?
I didn't
special
travel.
things.
I just watched them.
Oh,
They
Well,
were fun.
and we got to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Wow.
That's obviously every
Oh,
elementary school
my
student's
That's
dream.
so
goodness.
true.
Yep. So that was a very positive part of
Now
my
here's
school
the big
experience.
question: is there a video?
They're I need to convert them.
They're on VHS?
20-year reunion. Yeah, they're on VHS somewhere, probably at my mom's.
Well, you know what?
should have
That's
to
your
get
goal.
that. That's
That's
true.
your
Yeah.
goal.
That's
You
true.
find it, we'll put it out there
Okay.
for you.
Okay,
Yes.
sounds good.
Oh man, can you still?
I can still do most of
Oh.
the tricks. My
Well.
kids have brought that out of me.
That
Yes.
should be an assembly. You're
There
in
you go.
school.
Oh,
I'd
now
be
we know.
really cheap. I'd be really
Now,
cheap.
now we know. Now we know. Write it down, Robin.
That's right. School
Oh, man.
assembly.
Listen, I want to know your top 5. We didn't talk about.
On my strengths?
Yes.
My top 5. Number 1 is woo. Number 2, which is winning others over for
Mhm.
anybody that doesn't know what that means. 2 is positivity. 3 is arranger. 4 is includer. And 5 is maximizer.
What's your 5?
My number 1 is input. My number 2 is maximizer.
Okay.
3 is ideation. 4 is competition. 5 is self-assurance.
Ideation. What is
Yeah.
that?
I love brainstorming. So
Oh.
all those ideas where nothing's happening, that's me. You were like, let's just brainstorm. Yes, I love like the whiteboards and let's come up with new ideas of doing everything differently.
I kind of like that.
It
I
is.
like
It's
outside
fun.
the box.
It's
I-
but I partner well with executing strengths because ideations,
They just
we're gonna
keep
help-
going?
We're
Yeah.
gonna keep going, and then you go make it happen. I'll help you, and you go across the finish line. So it's
Okay.
good.
Oh, and my top 5 are communication, positivity, woo, activator, and belief.
Yep.
Those are my top
Those are all
5.
great.
Those
The very
are all
best
great.
ones, right?
I think they're
The
amazing.
very best ones. That's right.
Oh man.
I told Jill, which you can't. I said, I really wish you could just stay and we could do break down each one. I wish we had a
Yeah.
counseling session for
I
us.
know.
You
I
could
know.
tell us everything, but for some reason, we have a life, so we
That's
can't
right.
do
We
that.
have a life. We can't do it. Yeah.
I'll come back.
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
actually really pumped about the game show idea
I
of
know.
like bringing different people and
Mhm.
like let's see how good you are on predicting. I mean,
Mhm.
That would be
it's
so fun.
It's on my
Very
list now.
Okay, I
It's on
love
my
it.
list. We're gonna make
Got
it
it.
happen.
I love it.
We'll just have volunteers. Who wants to see if Brianna can
Guess-
pick their
keep
Guess
guessing.
your
Yeah.
strengths.
Yeah. I love
That
it.
would actually be such a fun game.
Next time. I mean, not next time, but eventually.
No, but soon.
Not next week.
Not next week. Eventually.
Maybe,
It's on.
maybe when Jimmy comes. That's
When
it.
Jimmy-
That's
Yeah, we can do it with Jimmy.
That's
Oh.
right. That's right. I'll get his strings ahead of time. And we'll figure it out.
Are you just trying to get on the podcast when
That's
Jimmy's
right.
on?
That's right.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, so you want to do that.
I'm putting in my reservation.
That's right. We'll let you. We'll let you.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to cover? Anything else you can think of?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, this is the time I'm going to do some reminders as
Oh,
Robin's
yes.
getting together
I
our
am.
challenge over there. So we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we have Pinterest, and we have TikTok. And I've thrown some new things out on TikTok recently.
Oh,
We've got some of
fun.
our good stories.
Mhm.
Some
Yes.
of those ones
So
that didn't
funny.
quite make the cut. I've had to put it at part 1 of part 2. You'll want to check all of those out. We've got teacher stories out there. Still more teacher stories to come.
so exciting.
And you never know what other things might come around.
Why am I worried? I hope you're not looking at. I feel like you're looking when your eyes glisten. I don't think that's very nice. So you know what? I'm not even in your building anymore. I should be safe.
You would think so.
But I will tell you. I don't know if we talked about this. I went over there to visit something in your building.
You went to my building
Yes.
to visit someone.
What's
Okay. What's going on?
Okay. And I was sitting there waiting.
Yes.
And the secretary said to me, I thought she was being so friendly, and I was like, I love this lady. She's so
Yeah,
nice.
they're awesome.
She said, any cricket problem lately?
Oh,
I said,
Oh,
what a sweet lady.
Oh.
I said, no.
Oh
There's no cricket
my
problem.
goodness.
So I just wanted you to know.
Guys, what Robin's saying is she would like for you to share all videos that involve
No.
her. And if you want to send anything, send it to my school and I'll make it happen. I maybe have already gotten some gifts lately. Maybe that's what we're waiting on.
Stop! I don't want to. I'm afraid of people now. So you know what? I think now's a good time to do it. Oh, you're going to do the other stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
What was my other stuff?
Oh no, you already did it. So
I
sorry.
did. Yep.
Okay.
I didn't get the new followers. Didn't happen.
Okay. So our verse this week, I thought, because we are getting ready to go into parent-teacher conference.
Yes, we are.
We have grade cards due. We have assessments due. We are tired. We are tired, people. If you do not work in a school system, this is a very stressful, hectic time.
Mm-hmm. And I will take any cherry limeades that anybody wants to send my way. Just saying.
You know what?
Put that little plug in there.
There you go. I'm a strawberry Sprite. So just so you know. Just a little something extra. Just a little extra. You didn't know about that.
I didn't know about that.
You should try it. It's very delicious. Anyway, my verse is Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. And I just thought this week, the next few weeks as we go through this, take some time to get away. Take some time to pray, to read your Bible, just have some quiet time. And I found this thing of just stuff to do this week you could do. Go to bed 30 minutes before anyone else.
No.
Have quiet time.
Like go to sleep or just go into your bedroom and
whatever you want to do.
Clock out.
Clock out.
Okay.
Take 30 minutes extra instead of just being in the living room, and just take some time for you. It could be to read, it could be to go to bed, but just something that no one's bothering you for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Make them for getting your hair, nails, massaged on this
get
week.
an appointment. Yeah.
Yes, appointment. I can't speak well this week. I'm having trouble this week.
Speaking Robin, we do have a linguistic. Wait, how would she? What Geisha gave herself a name?
She did. I think it was linguistic.
Is that going to sound right? Means like they speak many languages.
And so we asked if she spoke Robin, and she said she did.
Yeah.
So I hope you're translating today for me. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. So you have a little bit of time, get dressed, and then you have a little time by yourself.
There is a lot of peace before everybody else wakes up.
I will not do that. I don't want to get up early.
Yeah.
But I like
not worth
it. Not worth it to me, no. And then claim part of the weekend to do what you want to do. And I think especially as women, as moms, we always are like, what do y'all want to do today this weekend? Yeah, you want to go do this? You want to do this? But you know what? Find one this coming weekend. Do something you want to do. Have your family go with you. If you want to run to the store and shop, you can. If you want to go to the park, you can. But pick something. Yeah. But just do something this week for 30 minutes to give some time for you to relax, check out. Don't worry about school. Don't worry about grades. Don't worry about assessments. Just take some time for you. Do some little self-help.
And it could be the pockets of peace.
That's right.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be hours long.
No.
Just a little bit.
Give yourself 5 minutes to jam out to whatever you want to jam out to. I liked you talked about going in the sun. I was like, actually, I totally get that. Just walking outside and be like, oh.
I always say I'm a complicated houseplant. Like I need vitamin D, water, and say nice things.
Yeah.
And I'll flourish.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Well, you know what? When my day's crazy here and one of my kids needs a break, we go outside. I said, you know what?
Fresh air.
Let's go get some fresh air. And they think it's for them, but it's actually for me.
That's right.
But I'm like, you deserve a little fresh air. Let's go on out.
Absolutely.
But it helps so much. So
well, and I just want to say, as a parent with students in both of your buildings and representative parents everywhere, thank you for all that you do and the countless hours and energy and heart you put into every day with our kids. So I really appreciate it. And
really nice.
I sure hope people do spoil you extra. I'll have to go to Sonic. Right? See,
now I'm like, I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
No, it's great.
Remember, your kid's not in my class.
That's right.
He really isn't You're a kids teacher. You're fine. You're
the
fine.
parents want to know what you
Yeah.
want. So that is good. That is
too
good.
funny.
No.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes.
being on.
Yes.
Thanks for having
So-
me.
Thanks for coming twice, even though
Oh,
I know
well.
you're busy.
Yeah, maybe we need to buy this off.
Yeah, I know.
No, I love being with you guys. It was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, good.
And it is such an important one, and I really do challenge you guys, honestly. Even if you're at home and you're nothing about the school system,
Yeah.
buy the book.
Yes.
You can get it anywhere. You get it on Amazon.
Target,
Yes.
yep.
Buy the book, and honestly, it is worth it. And it's
Mhm.
very interesting, the things they tell
Mm-hmm.
you, and it really helps you in so many ways. And there's a lot of times, even in our life as adults, we get busy and we
Yeah.
forget our own strengths, and sometimes we get
Yes.
discouraged.
Yeah.
So even though I said the same thing, we talked about how important it is for these high school kids,
Yes.
but it's important for you too. So you know what? It's worth the money to go
Yes.
get the book and do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
All right.
Jimmy, your invitation is still there.
And we have a fun game to play with you.
Oh,
I'll
That's
throw
a-
in a free strengths coaching session.
Whoa! She's really trying to bring it
That's
in.
right. That's
Man,
right.
we should have every guest try to come up with
That's right.
something that they
Incentive.
can
Some
Yes.
sort of
send in.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't want to come to Ozark, Missouri anyway,
Really?
or send us to New York.
Either
Exactly.
one.
Either one would be fine.
I think so.
It's obvious. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's great.
All right. This is Listen.
Teacher Chatter
This is Robin.
and Jill.
And we hope you have a great week.